What's up guys, Chasing Langley here with episode number 5 of our Williams Revival series on F1 Manager 22. Forgot I was playing them for a second, good stuff. So we are having a double header today of the Canadian Grand Prix and the British Grand Prix, our home race. And actually there's not a lot to do between now and the Canadian Grand Prix. For those of you who missed the last episode, do go check that one out. It is up and available as we speak. We'll have a little look back at what happened in the previous one. So we went to Spain, Monaco and Azerbaijan, and we didn't score any points. That was kind of disappointing. You can see here our previous race results. We did a 15th and a non-finish in Catalonia. In Monaco, we had the fun of kind of just nothing really. 17th and last in Monaco as well, and then Azerbaijan, much of the same kind of stuff. We had a slightly better performance, but still 17th and last. So we are struggling a little bit. One thing to note is in Montreal, my brain, I'm still a little bit ill, guys, so apologies, but we'll fight through nonetheless. Acceleration, low speed, medium speed are important for Canada, and for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, you'll see that low, high speed and top speed are the important things. If we look at our car from an analysis point of view, we should be able to see that for the Canadian Grand Prix, we're not actually a million miles off where we need to be. We're still 9th on high speed. We're 15th on medium speed, so we might be able to fight for some lower points with the rest of the midfield. And when we get to the British Grand Prix, we should have a slightly better car. There are a couple of upgrades to come in. We can see high speed where we're 9th. We should be able to get, or high speed cornering where we're 9th. We should be able to get ourselves in the fight a little bit through sort of Maggots, Beckett's, through Cops, through those kind of sections. We should be pretty strong. So hopefully there'll be some points in today's race. And as I said, we still have some upgrades to come in, which if we look at the parts development screen, you can see there 16 days for the side pods would take us up to somewhere around the middle of the grid, if memory serves. Is it going to let me see the rank on grid for those? I don't think it will. Either way, that does put us further up the grid, which is what's important. So let's go forward now and see what happens as we head towards the Canadian Grand Prix. We have got a facility upgrade coming in now for our memorabilia room, which is going to trigger a lovely email, which I should just go straight to, where we're going to see we've gained some team attractiveness, which is always beneficial for the sponsors and for getting drivers and staff in. And Charles Leclerc is leading the Drivers' Championship by 33 points right now, which is pretty unassailable, at least for us. So we're going to keep going forward and into the practice sessions, and we'll see what happens. The helipad has been built. We can probably do another iteration of the helipad, if I'm quite honest, because I probably have enough money saved up for a facilities upgrade, and anything we can do to upgrade at this stage is good. Can we do a weather centre? That would be helpful, but we can't. Another helipad is quite a cheap upgrade though, so we'll do that, and that'll add on our sponsor payouts. Can't do a memorabilia room, but you know, little by little, slowly by slowly, we're going to get things up. I don't think we have anything to do in terms of development points on any of our staff or drivers, so that's always useful. Inbox-wise, it's going to want me to do something race preview, I'm sure. Race prep is going to be what's important there. So we're going to go set our performance targets, reaching Q2. I mean, that's all pretty much the best we can hope for. So I'm going to go forward to the race weekend, and we'll come back for the results in just a second. So it's been a while since I've come back and done any in-race action, but as you can see, Théo Pourchaire is currently leading the race. Let me give you a little bit of an update of how this happened. So, it's been a bit of a changeable race in terms of conditions. You can see there's been some rain on the track, lots of rain on the track, in fact, is what kind of happened. So, the first safety car came out when there was a crash for Gasly, and I came in pretty much straight away. It went straight on to wets rather than on to inters. Stayed on wets whilst everyone else, as you can see if I look at this screen, made just about as many stops as they felt like making. And then in the most Flavio Briatore of ways possible, as we just get passed by Verstappen now, there was a crash for Piastri. He crashed actually into Ocon, who'd already had a moment. and retired, brought out the safety car, and it was just as the rain stopped that we were coming down that back straight towards the pits. So I came in for softs under the safety car and came out ahead of everyone else. We've just been overtaken by Sainz and Verstappen, but we are still sort of in a position where we can hunt this race down. So I thought we'd come back earlier than I normally do, and we'd go through what can happen. We'll see what happens about us maybe picking up a first podium. I don't know if a first wins on the cards. Hamilton is behind us and catching fast, as it looks like Sainz had a slight moment there as well. We've got some tyre left. We've got no battery left at all. It's been really hard managing the battery for this one. But we are in a DRS. We've closed our DRS early because Verstappen is just in our way. I'd have gone up the inside there if it were me driving, but I'd also have crashed with him. So, don't maybe follow me for driving tips. However, we are coming down 7 laps left to go now, and we could potentially pull off a miracle here as Hamilton goes down the inside of us at turn 2. But we've got some harvesting going on with the ARS. We are not fully struggling. We are a few laps left to get something out of our tyres. They're not pulling away from us rapidly, and I feel like we've got enough tyre left to keep aggressive for the rest of the race. We'll see how our tyres are doing versus everyone else. And we're still in there. We're still in the fight as tyres go to be able to make this to the end. Pourchaire is our better driver when it comes to tyre preservation as well. I think we have a lap or two where we just preserve the ERS, just build that up. We need to stay in DRS range, which hopefully we've done. See if we can catch up now again to the back of Hamilton, get ourselves back in this fight as we go across the start-finish straight. We are going to keep harvesting that DRS, and if I can just stay in DRS range throughout the lap, maybe there's a last-minute push, a last-minute lunge to happen for the podium on the final lap. We're going to keep on double speed for now because, let's face it, we still want to get to the end, and that's sort of imperative, really, we get to the end. But we are staying there. We are heading into the hairpin now. I think we're just outside of DRS range, unless it's going to give us a small mercy. Are we going to get DRS? We are getting DRS. We probably shouldn't have got DRS there. We're on low fuel, but we are marginal. We're marginal on fuel. Let's not call it low fuel. We are on marginal. We can make it to the end with a touch of lift and coast. We should be completely fine. And we're going on to the 66th lap of the race, so 5 to go. And we are still in the hunt. We're still very much in the hunt. Perez isn't catching us. At one stage, Verstappen and Perez were actually right at the back of the field because they just blew it on their tyre decisions. They went on to inters when it just started hammering down, and then they had to come back in for wets, and then it stopped raining for about a lap, so they came in for inters again, and then it started raining again, and it was all a bit of a disaster for the Red Bull team. Right, we're starting to lose ground here, so we're going to go on deploy for this lap. See how that does for us. I don't know if we are trying to stay ahead of Perez or if we're trying to catch Hamilton. You be the judge of that, but one of those things has to be achievable. Where are we on tyres? On tyres, we can't really do much to attack at this point. I think that would have to be like a late, if we need to make a lunge kind of moment for us to go on to attacking on tyres. But we're fine for now. We're staying ahead of Perez. We are just behind Hamilton. I say just behind. We're 2 seconds behind Hamilton. We are making up the ground once we come down the main straight, and I think he's having to start preserving tyres. He's certainly not using ERS in the same way we are, which is very much kind of hell for leather, if I'm honest. We're probably abusing the ERS a little bit too much at this point. We'll go back onto neutral for a little while just to see what we can build up in terms of usage, because Sainz is probably a little bit far away as we get to 3 laps to go. But you never know. It just takes one lock-up, one spin, one bit of contact, one set of tyres to go off the cliff, which is entirely feasible. Sainz's tyres could easily go off the cliff here. I guess that's sort of what I'm banking on at this point, is that Sainz will take his tyres off a cliff. I think what we're going to do, we're going to harvest the ERS. We've got 2 laps to go. We're going to keep an eye on the tyres of Sainz because it is going to be very much a case of what can we do to keep up with him if his tyres go off the cliff. There's a crash in Sector 1 that could be a red flag very easily if a safety car comes out. We'll have to see what happened in that crash. I can't even really work out what happened. Lance Stroll crashes on turn 1. So let's have a little look. This could be the identical accident to what Piastri had, but without Ocon being sat in the runoff area. It is. Ocon was sat right where Stroll's car ended up when that happened to us, which was incredibly good. We are going to push this car as much as we can now from here to the end, because we do need to see if we can make up any gap whatsoever. I think once we get out of the hairpin, I'm going to start deploying again. I'll start deploying out of the hairpin and just go for it. Just see if there's any time to be had here. I don't know if we can catch up to Sainz here. I am just trying to keep out of the clutches of Perez, because if we can keep out of the clutches of Perez, 4th place is a very, very impressive finish for us, especially considering I would have not said we were going to get anywhere above maybe 10th. At one stage, Piastri had the fastest lap. I say at one stage because he took it just before it started raining, because he'd already broken his front wing off and damaged his chassis. So he had about 20 seconds of clear air in front of him, and he was pushing on everything. And then it started raining. I was like, if it keeps raining for the rest of the race, we might sneak a point. We didn't, because Piastri binned it, because that's what Piastri does for us. Either way, we are on to the last lap of the race now. Things are very much looking like it's a fight for the podium at the top there. I think what I might do is we'll go to the off-board with Verstappen, and we'll see through to the end of the race what is happening with this fight. We can see in the background Sainz and Hamilton. This honestly could come right down to this last straight. This last straight could make this anyone's game here. It is going to go down to who gets the better traction here, who gets the DRS open, who gets the big push, and Verstappen could be in trouble here, because he really should have nothing left to give as Sainz looks to come on through on the outside. Hamilton might follow him through as well. Sainz into the last corner, through the wall of champions, and Carlos Sainz is about to claim his victory in Canada. Hamilton cannot quite make the jump at the line, but what a finish. And Théo Pourchaire has just crossed the line. We missed it, but he's just crossed the line in 4th place, which is absolutely ridiculous. You couldn't make it up. Théo Pourchaire brings home his Williams in 4th after Piastri crashes out, and that puts more points on the board for us. So 12 more points on the board for us, and maybe even pushes us back up into 6th or 7th in the Constructors' Championship as well, as Mick Schumacher is about to cross the line well behind the rest of the field. But there we go. That is probably the best performance we've had on this game so far. And we've still got to go to Silverstone now with some momentum, with some points in the bag, on a track our car is better suited for. And if we get even the slightest sniff of any rain, we could be in for something very, very good happening. Oh, wait, I apologise if you can't hear Crofty. For some reason, it stopped recording the audio, or as far as I can tell from the monitoring, it stopped recording the audio from the game for some reason. I don't fully understand why, but it usually doesn't make a difference, because usually we don't come back onto the racing action. We just go, to the results. But today, we have come back, because 4th place, we sit 7th in the Constructors as well, which is a miraculous result. And I think puts Pourchaire ahead of Piastri in the driver's standings as well, which is not something I would have predicted at any point had I been asked. So, really, really great stuff for us as we go to the official classification. Théo Pourchaire is going to get some big experience points out of this one today, as well as 12 points. And he does go above Piastri. He moves it to 11th in the driver's standings. Constructors-wise, we've moved up, or we've stayed in 7th, I should say, because we were already in 7th. But we've moved up closer, or as close to AlphaTauri as we are to Aston Martin, which is a real surprise. In terms of points gained, 1 development point for Piastri, and definitely a development point for Théo Pourchaire, and nothing for Jack Aitken, because we don't put him in the car, really. So that'll be why that happens. And we've got a brand new tour centre, which is always good to see. We are going to have to do some car parts building, because we don't have any front wings, because Piastri broke them all, which isn't really what I wanted to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to build 4 of them, just so Piastri can have all the fun of the fair and destroy as many things as he wants to destroy. But let's have a look in the warehouse just to make sure we have enough parts for everything we need to build. Chassis-wise, am I building a chassis or am I doing a manufacture on a chassis? I'm not, and I only have 2 of them, and that's probably a concern because, again, we employ Oscar Piastri, and he likes to break things. So we'll do 3 more of those as well, just to be on the safe side. What else do we need? Rear wings. Rear wings, he hasn't broken any recently, so that's good. Side pods, we've got new ones coming in this week, I believe. Underfloor, we're fine for. Suspension, we are fine for. Good. We have everything we need in terms of parts for our car. I'll add the front wing once they build us a new one. Race-wise, we'll worry about that just now. Right, let's have a look at our mailbox. Top speed of car 1 could be improved. Reaction to tail or share could be improved. That's pretty much where I was focusing all of my development points anyway, was into improving the reactions of both our drivers, because that feels like how we get them quicker. So we'll give 1 to Piastri. We'll go find Teo Pourchaire, who desperately needs that extra reaction speed. Is that going to put him up? I'm sure he should have got a development point for that. That's fine. We'll make that work. Anything for any of our staff? Nothing for them. Okay, so let's without any further ado, crack on towards the British Grand Prix. We've got some things going on the calendar, including new facility upgrades and hopefully a new design coming in for the British Grand Prix that we can stick on the car. So, race simulator, upgraded, Bosch, done, in the bag. That makes us happy. Let's keep going. More manufacturing complete, good stuff. I'm not sure what that was completing. The team hub is done, which, again, good for us. Hospitality area, done, good for us. Good stuff. Right, that's going to bring in more money. That's going to bring in more experience. It's going to bring in more attractiveness. That's all bunches of good stuff. We have a new ATR period starting, which is very, very useful as well. Jack Aitken's contract is running out, which again, I'm going to replace at the end of the season anyway. I'm not overly worried. New helipad built, smashed. New side pods designed. That's a thing I need to action, because I might just be able to get, well, I mean, I can. I'm going to have to spend a lot of money, but I can get some of those on the car in time for the British Grand Prix. Now, we're going to build, I think, 3 of them. We'll do an emergency build on 3 of them, because that will give Oscar Piastri the opportunity to smash one of them up. We'll also do a regular style design build on some as well, just to give us a couple of spares. That's going to be important. We can go into a design mode. Right, I want to increase the top speed now. I think is kind of vital. It feels like the new underfloor is the way to go with this one. Another new underfloor. I know we've already done one. We're going to put about 1/3 of our design hours into this, I think. That's going to work out approximately nicely, I guess. I'm trying to work out what 1/3 of 84 is. That's good in my head. It's what, 30 minus, or plus 2, 32, oh, 28. 28? Yes, that's maths. Maths. Good work. Maths live on your TV screen. And we're going to go to high-speed performance, because that's important. Let's see the rank on the grid. Well, medium and high speed up to 19th, and I think we can probably push that a little bit further if we just don't focus on airflow sensitivity, because I'm sure airflow sensitivity has very little benefit to anything. I guess we can go a little bit further. It doesn't hurt to be further than, or further up the grid, I suppose. Drag reduction, can we get that up to first? We can. Sure, that's a pretty good design. I think I'm pretty happy with that. So we're going to put 5 engineers on that. We're going to, I think, rush it. Yeah, we'll just go rushed rather than intensive, because that way we should get it on the car pretty quickly, grand scheme. I think that should come in just after the summer break, which is pretty good. And then we can add our new parts to the car. So change for that one. I'm sure I put that on the other car already. Did I not? Have I not built a new front wing yet? I'm sure I built a front wing. I'm sure I designed a front wing. Or I'm designing a front wing. Maybe I'm designing a front wing. Is that what's happening? Yes. I know what's happening. Good. New side pods. That's going to be useful too, because that is going to increase our speed. We look at rank on the grid here. That will take us up to 15th on top speed and 17th on acceleration. And that's a very, very healthy position to be in. More speed as we go into the British Grand Prix. That's where we're looking at in terms of the car. Good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go do practice, and we are just going to come back unless something spectacular happens. We're just going to come back for the race result and see if we can make anything happen at the British Grand Prix. I'm not going to try and do anything spectacular with the sponsor performance targets, because that feels like it would be a mistake, unless, of course, I mean, qualifying position of 15th is kind of a mandatory bonus anyway, so we'll take reach Q2 as an additional, and we're just going to see what we can do. So I'll be back to see and show you how we do at Silverstone. So I'm not going to lie, I genuinely thought we could get ourselves some points here today, but it wasn't to be. Théo Pourchaire finishing in 14th and Piastri actually finishing a race for a change in 17th, so not the greatest all-round performance, but we tried a one-stop where everyone else, I say everyone else, a lot of people tried two, and it didn't really pay off. But no change really for us in the constructors or the drivers either, so 11th and 13th, the Drivers' Championship. We are still 7th in the constructors. McLaren moving ahead of Aston Martin into 8th place. Drivers-wise, I mean, it's Leclerc and Sainz running away with it. That's the story of the season, pretty much. So, you know, I think we'll expect a Ferrari to win everything. In terms of experience, Piastri and Pourchaire. Pourchaire has finally got his development point. I used Jack Aitken in practice just to see if he would get a chance to develop a little bit, because, you know, why not? His contract's up soon. We'll see what we can do with him. £3.6 million goes into the bank, which is always good, solid, hard-earned kind of money. That's the kind of stuff we like to see. And hopefully, we're going to come back in just a second. We will spend that development point. We've manufactured some front wings for Oscar Piastri to destroy. We've designed a new front wing, which I can put on the car. We'll do that right now, because otherwise I'll forget by the time I get to record next episode. So we will go new project, manufacturing the new project. The front wing is done, so we will manufacture how many days? Oh, not many days till the Austrian Grand Prix. Okay, I think we'll try and get 2 of those done in time for the Austrian Grand Prix. We'll build 6 of those at the same time, because Piastri will do Piastri things. And design-wise, we're already going underfloor. What are we still on the first iteration of? Are we still on the first iteration of anything? We're not. Top speed is a thing I need to work on. I think the best way to make that work is going to be probably a brand new chassis. We'll unleash a brand new chassis, English, a brand new chassis in time for hopefully Spa. Hopefully Spa would be my thinking there. I'm trying to remember the maths I did before. 28, I think it was. Yep, perfect. Design focus, we are going to go on optimized out race performance. That's the one that makes stuff go faster. 5th in drag reduction is the best we can do. Airflow middle, and we can't really drop down. I don't know which is going to make the car faster. Does that make it faster? Does that make it faster? We are looking for some kind of balance of something. There, that gives us more acceleration, more top speed, more good stuff, and we will boost that up. And normal is 26 days. If we rush it 17 days, I think we're going to go with intense, because 26 days is not a huge amount of time to wait. And so we'll get the best out of that designing project. That's a good idea. So that leaves us in a good place for the episode. We're going to come back next time for the Austrian Grand Prix, which I don't think favours our car terribly much. It might do actually. High speed cornering, if we can get our top speed up, maybe there are points at the Red Bull Ring. And at Le Castellet, I think actually that's another quick speedy type track, which if I'm not misremembering how our car works, having just watched it race, I think that's an area of the grid we're quite confident in, especially given that, we've got some upgrades coming in time, certainly for, well, I say certainly for Hungary, we have some upgrades coming, and definitely for Belgium. By the second half of the season, we should be absolutely laughing, which is what we like to see. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I have been Chasing On. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit like, please subscribe, please ring the bell, leave some comments, tell me where you think we're going to finish in the Championship, the Constructors' Championship this season. And in the meantime, I have been Chasing On. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Have a good one.